Hello there. This is Pastor Dave coming to you today from Idaho, the mountains of Idaho. I've been blessed to be able to be at a beautiful chalet up here for a while. I'm on a medical sabbatical, as most of you know. But anyway, very thankful for some good friends who let me come up here to this beautiful paradise. Most of you know. I think that I was born in Idaho, not too far from here, not too far from Round Valley. And that's where I learned a cowboy and the Bryson family and the Trout family. That's where we learned to ride and rope and brand and do all those kind of things. So this has been a great break for me. But anyway, what exciting times we're living in. We just went through an historic election. It's unlike anything that has ever happened in our lifetime, where Donald Trump won a landslide election on the heels of having had an election stolen from the Dominion voting machines that have been proven to be easily manipulated and probably have been controlling elections in America for decades. But anyway, I'm very, very thankful for what's happening in America. We talked about it last week, and I just want to, again, point out the fact that thousands and thousands of people have been praying for revival in America. And fortunately, that revival is happening. And the connection between revival and what happens next is what I really want to talk to you about, because revival is the seed of the stirring of God in people's hearts, and we're definitely in revival. I believe that a lot that we have witnessed recently is the evidence of revival. I believe that Clay Clark and the ReAwakening tours that have happened are clearly the signs of revival. And I thank God for them. I was able to go to a number of them. And so we've been seeing a growing disillusionment with the sin that is so rampant in America. We've seen a growing disillusionment in the hearts of the American people with the debauchery and the school systems. It's been so ugly. It's been so blatant. We've seen a disillusionment with Western medicine and with the globalists who are trying to take away American freedoms in the name of the World Health Organization and medical mandates. We've really seen widespread disillusionment. All this is a sign of revival. What is revival? Revival is the action of God on the human heart and mind to cause us to turn our thoughts again back to God and cause us to desire the right ways of God. And revival has been happening in America. And we could talk about it literally in every niche of society. It's all a sign of the moving of the Spirit of God that have been getting people's attention. We could also talk about it in the evidences that we see in news commentators. There have been so many people that are well-known people that have begun to speak about God, speak about spiritual things. Mel Gibson, Tucker Carlson, Russell Brand, even Joe Rogan, the president, the 45th president, Donald Trump, and through his re-election campaign, he's been talking about God saving his life, sparing his life at the Butler, Pennsylvania crisis that happened. There have been so many evidences of people coming to the front talking about God. Clay Clark led the way again with bringing people together across the divides of spirituality and American patriotism. If you missed the Clay Clark events, you should at least go online and find the recordings of some of the Reawaken America events. But they were wonderful expressions of revival, people coming together, talking about what was needed in America, sharing what God meant to them, sharing the values of authentic Christianity and big biblical values. It was really wonderful. People from pastors from all over, Greg Locke, different pastors. I went to 4 of them. There were many pastoral leaders, Amanda Grace, prayer leaders, revivalists, worship leaders. And then there were people like Laura Logan and Mary Flynn O'Neill, her brother, General Michael Flynn, the great leaders in politics and in society. It was a wonderful, wonderful expression of revival. That, again, is the Spirit of God beginning to stir people's consciousness, making people aware of their need of God, a desire for God, a hunger for God. All those are signs of revival. Now we have witnessed the greatest comeback of a president in the history of the United States. It's been wonderful. Donald Trump won. Not only that, but he has a majority supporting him in the House of Representatives and in the Senate and in the Supreme Court. We are poised for a wonderful, wonderful season ahead. And that is a season not of revival, but of the fruition of the seeds of revival. And that's a word that I began to talk about in last session for Time to Roar, but I want to go there again. That word is reformation. Now, reformation is to revival as the fruit is to the seed. It's wonderful to have fruit seeds, but what's wonderful about it is the promise of fruit that can come out of those seeds. And so it's wonderful to have revival, but the beauty of revival is the possibility of a reformation that will impact the society. Now, I believe that reformation started with a shaking up of what I call often the great American religious enterprise. It started with people, again, having a wake-up call and realizing that many, many, many of the churches in America just become religious dog and pony shows. Remember that they begin to remember the essential ingredients of authentic Christianity and wonder why their churches and their religious settings were so far removed from authentic Christianity. Then came the COVID con, where hundreds of thousands of patriotic biblical Christians saw that their spiritual leaders, their shepherds, were actually false shepherds. They had no faith in God. They had no faith in the Spirit of God, though they talked and sang about healing in many of the churches. The simple truth is that they had no faith that God could help them in any regard with the COVID con and with the problem that was facing the world. And so they caved in to the lies of Tony Fauci. They caved in to the lies of the New World Order and the World Health Organization. And people felt abandoned. They felt like they had put their hope in a false system, and they felt that way because they had. And so people by the hundreds of thousands left their local churches. They left their false shepherds. they began looking for something that was more reflective of Jesus Christ and the original message of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And so there was a massive shift that began to take place in society that's still going on, and that feeds into this idea of reformation. One of the things that's being reformed is the great American religious enterprise is being shaken to its foundation, and authentic Christianity is going back to its original form, and that predates the Catholic Church. It's going back to the apostles of the Lamb. It's going back to the days that preceded Constantine. And if you would like to hear more about this, I'd encourage you to go to our website, churchgladtidings.com, and go to the archives and listen to a 5 or 6 part message that I've done that's called The Mind of Christ versus the Curse of Constantine. But we are going back to reevaluating what it means to be truly Christian. And then we're going to be able to take that authentic Christianity and take it into the marketplace and see reformation come. What do I mean by that? I mean a reformation of our educational system, a reformation of society and all its structures. I want to encourage you to go back into the Old Testament and to look at some of the great revivals of the Old Testament, particularly if you would read about Josiah's reform. It begins in 2 Kings chapter 23, and it talks about a young king who was revived in his heart and led his nation in a reformation of the nation. That's King Josiah's reforms. You'll see there that important people were fired. You'll see there that certain people were executed, put to death because of the evil that they had done to the society. You'd see there that the altars of idols were torn down, and there was a massive, massive reformation that changed the structure of society. And so wherever you're listening from today, let's be thankful for revival. We're in a time of revival. We've come through a time of revival, but let's embrace reformation. And let's all ask ourselves what we can do today to make a difference and to change the structure of things. That's what Reformation is about. Bring them back into the form and order that is an honor to God. And that will include every aspect of society, from our music and our entertainment to the structure of our spiritual gatherings and what we call church, to the political platforms, education, what we allow, the way we view politics, the way we view agriculture, even the way we view our economy. All those things need to be brought into the godly order that is honorable to the Lord and built on the foundations of authentic Christianity. So wherever you are, remember, revival has been touching our hearts and touching our nation. And now it's time for us to cultivate the seeds of revival and trust God to bring reformation to our nation, to our country. So wherever you are, remember, this is an exciting season. Continue to pray for God's will to be done in our country, and continue to lean in to what God is doing, and trust God to use you to cultivate the seeds of revival into the fruit of societal reformation. God bless you. Remember, wherever you are, it's time to roar.